by a .zip file to people in remote or offline area or area lacking in digital infrastructure. He passion in working together with public school in Indonesia to assist in setting up low-cost solution for offline education content and integrating together with the teaching service. Mr. Saputra, you also have 15 minutes, sir, to deliver your presentation, and the time is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ronaldo. First of all, I would like to say thank you to my fellow speakers, audience members, and esteemed colleague in the SEAMOLEC committee, Bapak Wahyudi, and Mr. John Siena. My name is Captain Saputra, and I am an ASEAN advisor for kiwix. It is a pleasure to be here, and it is with great excitement that I am here to share kiwix with you guys. So I would first start with what we're going to talk about today. 5 concepts. We're going to start with basically what is kiwix, what our product does, the people and lives that we've touched through the use cases that I've highlighted, and at the end of the day, how can we help? We'll first start with basically what is kiwix. kiwix is an open source and nonprofit organization with a mission to bring internet content offline. How do we do this? It is through a software that we aim to connect with the unconnected by making them offline. I will speak regarding about the product and the demo on the subsequent slide. And essentially, kiwix, in 2020, we have had more than 4 million users, over 200 countries and territories worldwide. The main challenges that we would like to address in solving are poor accessibility to relevant digital infrastructure, as well as cost, which are actually similar, relatively similar problems and pain points that our previous speakers presented, Calibri, as well as Middlebox. So again, what is kiwix then? kiwix, at the heart of it, is a software, is a software empowered through an OpenZIM format. Think of it like a compression library. What this does is it enables us to compress large files into smaller chunks, meaning we can compress the whole Wikipedia English, including text, videos, audios, and links, down to around 70 gigabytes. Now, what does this actually mean for educational teachers, institutions, lecturers, and practitioners? We're able to compress a large repository of information and combine it into a single package. Now, on the left, as you can see, kiwix at the heart is a software that you load into multiple storage devices. The most common one is a micro SD format. You can load it into a thumb drive. But the uniqueness of kiwix is the ability that you are able to utilize different hardware devices to interact with kiwix. Why? It's because at the heart of our product design is that we understand that kiwix, when people use it, they need to adapt to their surroundings and based on the resources you have. Meaning, if say I'm in Ghana and essentially I don't have that much resources or access to smart tablets, I can essentially use a thumb drive, load kiwix into it, and actually reuse an old laptop in order to boot it up. The idea is that it is agnostic, and the software, you can plug it into any hardware that adapts to your surrounding. So we can go from actually a single circuit board, your Raspberry Pi, to old computer, and even installed on your Android devices. So without further ado, I'll actually give you a short video of a content that I created as part of our demo for Wikimedia. A bit of context about this one is that I will not play the whole video. I will essentially just show what kiwix is, but more importantly, I wanted to highlight what kiwix can do and for the audience and the students. So I'll first play the video. So this is a demo video that I created for Wikimedia Indonesia in order to be presented to the Indonesian Teachers Labor Union, or commonly known as PGRI. the aim of it is that later on we would work together with Kemendikbud or the Education Institution of Indonesia in order to see how we can deploy this. But for the time being, I'm going to show you essentially what is kiwix. So you user enter basically through Wi-Fi, and user enter through Wi-Fi and essentially go through your login screen. Now, in here, as you can see, these are different modules that we have. And these modules may not necessarily just only be online text or encyclopedia repository. They can also contain interactive tutorials, as well as content management systems, as well as videos. I'll show you. So in here, I've loaded essentially around 4 different Wikipedia repository encyclopedia in 4 different subdialect of Indonesian language. We have the normal Bahasa Indonesia, but we have the subdialect of Java, Sunda, and Bali, and one more Minangkabau at the top. I'm just going to continue on the video. Now, the video is taking you to enter a interactive simulations where you go through to different STEM subjects. Essentially, this is Bahasa Indonesia. We'll just skip through interactive simulations. And these modules essentially touch up on your STEM subject, science, tech, and math. But the one that I'm giving an example that is more on the physics side, I believe. Now note that all of these interactive simulations are in the form of modules, and they are served offline. You load it first. And the next and last one that I'm showing you here is a content management system. The idea before was that let me show this folder structure. So in here, I have 2 folders, and one is basically your library, and the other is basically videos. The idea is that you can put your ePDFs and worksheets and all of that in order for you to serve offline. Again, content management system. With that, I'll continue on essentially how they look. We're now in the folder of mathematics textbooks. One point to note for all of this is that as kiwix, when you curate a content for a certain audience, it needs to be curated for that grade level. With this one, because I wanted to show the general strength and ability of kiwix, I adopted a general blanket in order to show Wikimedia Indonesia, PGRI, and the Indonesian Education Institution what we can do. But yeah. Moving on, I would like to actually now introduce you to our global footprints. So we've achieved 6 million users worldwide, and I've actually wanted to highlight 2 use cases which I find to be most interesting and impactful, in all honesty. So I'll start with the Ladakh Kidpedia offline. What is this? So in 2021, in the villages of Indian Himalaya of Ladakh, over 75% of students and adult learners have had no access to learning since the start of COVID-19 crisis. What this presents is the problem statement that remote and geographical challenges translating to lack of digital infrastructure, meaning they don't have 3G towers and can't afford high data charges. So what did the kiwix and essentially the Yutan brothers did. So the Yutan brothers created this mesh network in these remote villages. What I want to highlight is two things. One, if you can see, is that they have a laptop as well as a router. Now, the beauty of kiwix, as I previously mentioned, is that it adapts to what you have. If you have a laptop, you plug it in, you are able to run kiwix, and plugging it together with a router, you're able to create a mesh network. Think of it like this. Instead of the internet plugging into your router, you plug in your computer, which eventually serves you your content. But what this highlights is the ingenuity of these two brothers that were able to create a mesh network in these remote villages and essentially not only help students with their education, but also help adults train and upskill their skills in order to apply to income generation and also staying healthy. So this may not necessarily just be an educational thing just for younger students, but it is also a tool that can also assist adults or people that are in remote areas that lacks digital infrastructure. Next one is our project in Ghana in 2022. Together with the Open Foundation of Western Australia and kiwix for School initiative, we created a community-centered approach which allowed Ghanaian schools to participate in consuming different contents without internet. So what we did was we trained around 30 community volunteers focusing on senior high school students with computer laboratory experience in order for them to load items into kiwix and then for them to actually deploy. What this eventually allowed them to do was they're able to have a much more standardized and equal barrier to educational content. Over 777 schools, total students were trained across 22 schools, together with the OFFA, and this has been running for 2 years. Flying closer to our home, Southeast Asia, we have just started our kiwix journey into Southeast Asia. Our first destination was actually Tangerang, Indonesia. And together with our respected partner of Wikimedia Indonesia, as well as Institut Teknologi Tangerang Selatan, we piloted together a kiwix web server for them to consume. I believe Dr. Onno will share this further on later on. And essentially, I will leave this to him. Which brings us to essentially our global worldwide partners. These are our partner organizations, and one